we're going to move on to our market update. We do this every seminar. This is the part where I like the most out of it because we can see how the market's doing every couple of weeks. It's a snapshot. We took these stats off the internet today. What's very, very interesting is we're about 3/4 of the way through January. So it's the first month. The numbers are going to be, not quite give us a snapshot of what's going to happen throughout the year. But sales from last January are down almost 12%. That's huge because in the last few years, we've been seeing increase after increase after increase in the total sales volume. But they leveled off at the end of last year and they're starting to fall at the beginning of this year. Now, that may be attributed to a lot of the uncertainty that's going on, the proroguing of Parliament here in Canada, Trump's election. We really don't know what's going to happen from there. So there may be some uncertainty with sellers and buyers in our market right now that could affect some of the sales. Active listings, though, are up almost 50% over January of last year. Now, that's phenomenal. That's what we've been waiting for years and years and years. We need the inventory to build up to give our investors an advantage when they go in and make an offer on a property.
Yeah, and we want to stress what this looks like for us realtors and our clients out there. We've probably had a record. We had a record December at Calgary Real Estate Wealth, and we had a record. We're on track for a record January as well. Now, we have to stress that the good properties, they're going into multiple offers. We can tell you where Tim and I actually had to compete against each other on Saturday night. This only happened, I think, once before in the whole time that we've been realtors. And we've been realtors together since 2006. So we actually had to go up against each other. And when it comes to that, we can't even disclose to each other what our offers are. So we just work with the client separately. And what actually happened here is Tim won the bidding. I didn't win it. But anyway, I was after another property in Ogden, Tim, and that one went into multiple offers. So we have to stress, and the Ranchlands one went into multiple offers. So we have to stress that that the good properties, we even have double the amount of clients for the same property. So that's not going to slow down. What that means to me is that there's a lot of crap on the market or they're overpriced. We actually don't mind overpriced listings. We actually get a deal on overpriced listings because we just follow them. We watch them. They list high and then they drop and then they drop and then they drop. And then we go put a stinker offer in and we get it because the seller's so frustrated. So overpriced properties aren't bad, but it's the quality that I'm worried about. Tim, there is a lot of properties out there that people, what were we calling them, flippers? Beware of flippers.
The quick flippers. We can always find out whether, if you go into the property, it's a renovated property, you can tell the workmanship, and we can also look into the title and see who the mortgage is on there. If it's a hard money lender that's the mortgage holder on there, we know it's a quick flip because that renovator's got to get in and out quickly because the rate that they have from these hard money lenders is very, very high. And we also know that if it sits on the market for a little bit, they're ripe for a low ball.
Yeah, when we say quick flippers, like just sketchy work. We seen a hood fan in a property in Southland that was renovated, and they were asking like $800,000 for this property. The hood fan vent went into the ensuite bathroom of the master bedroom, went into the ensuite vanity, and then it went inside the vanity and turned. And because it turned, it went through the drawer, the top drawer of the vanity, and then out to the side of the house. And because they did that, they had to screw the top drawer shut. And then when you open your cabinet, you could see the venting from the hood fan through that. Now, I'm telling you, we were working with some people that came down from Fort Mac to buy, and they really loved this house. And we went back for a second look. We were showing them at nighttime because they were very busy. And we said, no, let's go back during the day. And when we went back during the day, we were horrified of the renovation.
Yeah.
So beware of the quick flippers, Tim calls them. And so we just want to stress that 744 total sales. If anybody's thinking about becoming a realtor, I have to tell you, I have to really say this. I'm not against it. I'm not that realtor. Everyone should be a realtor. It looks great on Facebook and TikTok. Tim doesn't even do TikTok. Tim, you're not even on Facebook.
TikTok was banned for a little while.
TikTok's banned. So
I didn't want to interrupt
TikTok. It looks good. Okay, I got to stress this. It looks good on social media. We're terrible at social media. But the maths does not add up. 744 sales, 8,500 1,000 realtors, okay? We got to feed our families. I mean, Tim and I have been doing this for a very, very long time. We have our own system. We don't really advertise. We don't really do social media. What we do is we give you value. But think about it, okay? If you're becoming a realtor, I just had to put that out.
Yeah. If you are thinking of becoming a realtor, get some very good mentor out there who can lead you in the right direction.
Come and talk to us.
Okay, the next part of this market update is the rental market update. We ran across this article just the other day, I don't know, a week ago or so, and they were talking about the average rents in Canada, and Calgary in particular. They're saying that our rents are down over 7%. Well, if you look at the graph on the right-hand side of the slide here, since December of 2020, rents are up a huge amount. And you look at the trend, the rental rate trend, it starts here and it's an upward trend. Yeah, they're down 7%, in the last few months or whatever, but the trend is up and it's a really, really massive trend. So we're going to see these ups and downs in the rental market, just like we see the ups and downs in the resale market.
Yeah.
Prices go up, they come down. But the trend overall is on the way up. And what they also mentioned in this article is that the main reason for it is the purpose-built rentals that were in the build stage all throughout the year. They all came online at the end of the year. Yeah, you could talk.
Okay, so we've been stressing this for a year now to you guys. Do not buy brand new in new communities. I mean, Tim and I, we've been spending a lot of time in places like Glacier Ridge and Alpine Park, and even down south. I don't even know that one down in the river there. We were down there.
Wolf Willow.
Yeah, Wolf Willow. Yeah, they got a nice ad on TV, actually. Guys, I have to stress this, okay? We know this. We can tell you the truth on what is going on because we're trying to rent some of these properties out. And it is impossible. I was on the Belmont in Belmont. That's another one, right? Belmont. Basement suites. Renting out basement suites in Belmont is impossible right now because about 100 other basement suites have just been finished by the builders and they've all come on the market. Basement suites in Belmont were renting. I could tell you the previous lease was signed for $1,450. We can't even get this thing rented for $900 per month right now. And I was just on Rentfaster in Belmont. When you circle around Belmont, within 2 kilometers of this property, there's 18 other basement suites for rent. So what makes this property rentable? Nothing. I mean, even the owner went with basic grade, right? And we can speak to this so you can avoid those mistakes. They're not good rental properties. Buy within 10, 15 minutes of downtown, you'll make a killing. We've seen areas go up $100,000 last year in some of these areas. And you can go as far as Evergreen. I would even go further, like Shaughnessy, even Bridlewood. Minnepore. Yeah, we just bought a beauty in Minnepore and a beauty in Ogden as well. And the lots are just massive, right? These new communities, Tim and I were up there the other day. We couldn't even park. We had to park in a back lane. It was all dirt because they're building everywhere. We had to park in a lane because we couldn't even park on the street because there was no parking.
Yeah, the driveways are so close together. There's not even a car length of lawn between the driveways that you can park on.
Yeah, I don't know how the city is approving these developments because with basement suites, and then you have big homes on top, 2,000 square foot homes, which means you probably have teenagers with cars as well. So you have 2 cars upstairs, you might have a car downstairs, every single house or every third house. There's nowhere to park. So anyway, that is my rant on that. Don't buy brand new.
Moving on, or continuing on with rentals, you can see this is a page I pulled out of the Calgary Real Estate Board's market forecast, which we do every year in January. We're actually going to do a seminar on the whole forecast that they had today in our next seminar. But if you look at this, the vacancy rate in these particular areas within Calgary and the rental growth, you can see, for instance, downtown's vacancy rate in the Beltline, or downtown and the Beltline, the vacancy rate is 5, 6, 7%. The rental growth in the downtown has been 4.1%. So you're seeing these purpose-built rentals go up. The growth rate of these rentals, in the Northwest, in the Southeast, almost 10%, over 10% in the Northwest, Northeast, 7.2%. These are huge growth growth or percentage numbers in rental growth rate. And one thing I want to stress is when these stats are compiled by the CMHC, it's from rental buildings, like the big, institutional boardwalk, Emerald, things like that, Main Street. They don't count the individual mom and pop owners, the people who own one apartment or one single family home or a suite of property, because they'd have to ask us, and nobody's ever asked us how many rentals we have, how many rentals our clients have. So these stats come from the buildings. So if you add in all the new builds that Azad was talking about in the outer areas, that drives the vacancy rate up even higher. So you have to be very, very specific where you want to buy and what you want to buy. And that's what we're here for. We're here to guide you to make that right decision and buy that right property.
Yeah, and we're only buying cash flow properties. So if you're thinking you can't cash flow out there, we just got a beauty in Ogden. I mean, this lot, Tim, was 60 by 120. It is massive. You could put a 4-plex, an 8-plex. You could put double car garages, like 2 of them in the back there, plus parking. And it's back. This is fronting onto a park we got for some clients on the weekend. This thing is money all day and will cash flow from day one. And we're going to help our clients legalize the basement suite. We have our own contractors, our own team that goes in there and does it now. We've cut out the middleman and gone straight to the source. And now the best thing about the basement suites, they're getting the grants, they're getting the funding, they're getting mortgages for the basement suites, and they're not spending any of their own money to do it. And it increases the value $50,000, $60,000. To us, it's a no-brainer. We'll be doing many, many of these properties this year. But getting back to these vacancy rates, what does that look like in terms of numbers? There is close to 8,000 rental properties in Calgary right now. So you better know, or you better be working with an investment-focused real estate agent that totally understands what they're buying you, okay? And that's what we do. We know how many people are going to be lined up for rent and how long it will take to rent the property out from day one.
Yeah, and just one quick example of that. We had a realtor in our office try to shop a suite of property in Pembroke, which is up 17th Ave and on the north side of 17th Ave in Calgary here. And while it looked good on the surface, once we got there, the neighborhood around there had been a few large crimes that made the newspapers last year. And it even trickled down to our clients knowing about that. And they just backed off and they said, no, we don't want to take that on. So we've got realtors that bring us properties all the time and say, oh, can you sell this? Do you have an investor for this? Well, we know the neighborhoods that the rental properties will work in, and we know where they won't. So if you have any questions about that, throw them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. As this seminar goes on, if there's anything you want to know, throw a question in the chat. Once Michael Oosterhoff gets going in his presentation, it'll be very, very technical. So if you want anything explained, throw it in the chat and he'll help you out. So that's our real estate and rental market update right now.